the years that you were here, because we have credit recovery for juniors on down. You need to make sure that you get that summer school form in the office, or you can see Mr. Johansson and get that signed up from your parents and get that turned as soon as possible. And if we have anybody with 3 or more, it's very important that you get that done because you want to graduate on time. And students, don't forget, last week, if you read my email that I did let you know on Wednesday, which is this week on the 12th, the 11th graders, which are the juniors, will only show up to school. We need to have you here between 7:45 and 7:50 to get you set up in the classroom because you need to take the state science test. And that is only juniors, so that means freshmen, sophomores, and seniors will have a remote learning day on Wednesday. Do not forget that. And I did send that information out to your parents too. I'll resend it too so everyone remembers. And Mrs. T needs to see Emma Cook, Kenzie Fry, and Mackenzie Chalmers. Juniors NHS members, our remaining volunteer hours should be turned in by Friday, and see Mrs. T for forms or questions. Let's go ahead and please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Have a most awesome, fun-filled day today. Please be responsible and respectful to all those around you. Adios.
Adios. Good morning, Beasley. Yeah, it'd be great, buddy. Alcorn, Ashby, Beasley, Binder, Cody, Cooper, Henny, Kenton, Curley, Massey, Meadows, Osman, Ozzy, Scales. Okay. All right. Good morning. The video? Yeah. You better call. Yeah, let me call him.
If not, that's fine. But we don't, I never got it, so that's what I was asking.
Good morning, high school office. Okay, hey Joey, were the teachers, Alicia, were the teachers supposed to show Miss Billingsley's guidance class sign up video thing today? Okay. I don't know. That was Alicia. She's asking Joey. No worries. That's a great question, Mr. Heidel. I had totally forgotten that. But yeah, let's be honest, would it be shocking that somebody else forgot it too? Yeah. I mean, we could do it second hour or third hour, whatever. It doesn't frankly matter, but I don't know. That's she's asking Joey. And yes. Is Miss Billingsley here today? About Miss Billingsley and classes. Not a problem. Sounds like not this hour, Mr. Heidel.
Thank you.
Can I please have the following students report to the office? Greg Allen, J. Jenny Tedford, Alec Murray, Jenna Musgrave, and Sophia Lynn. To the office, please.
In your pocket. Good job, Aiden. All right. Give me a minute.
office, please. Joey, if you worry to the high school office.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Not my monkey, not my circus. Okay. Hi, Hunter. Okay, here we go. Off to a slow Monday start. Speaking of slow Monday starts, close Chromebooks. Just because you didn't do your homework on time doesn't mean it's time to do it yet. Close them all the way. Thank you. All right, phones in pockets and/or in bags, etc. You're fine. All right, not you. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm doing grades. I've already pulled them. So if it ain't done yet, it's not going to show up. I was really pretty disappointed when I saw the Delta math grades. I'm like, oh, okay. Apparently we're just not doing our stuff. That's fun and interesting. Just remember, guys. Just remember that not this like Thursday, Friday, but next Thursday, Friday is this guy, right? So just throwing it out there. We might want to do our work. So throwing that out. With that in mind, so do Monday. So we have surface area of a prism and we have surface area of a cylinder. Okay, let's do it to it. So surface area of a prism and surface area of a cylinder. Let's take a look. Well, here, actually. If this were full up all the way to the top, if this were full up all the way to the top, how do I find the surface area of this thing right here? Tell me how. Length times width. Now, length times width, like that. That would give you the bottom, wouldn't it? Length times width times height. Length with height would give me volume. That would be how much paper makes this brick of paper, correct? But how do I find the surface area? How do I find the surface area of all the color? How do I find that? Besides what? So I got a square on the bottom, length times width. What else do I have? How about a square on the top? Does that make sense? Square on the bottom, square on the top. So length times width I like it, but we're gonna need two of those. One for the bottom and one for the top. Do we agree? Yeah, we're gonna actually need 6 sides altogether, aren't we? Because we got this, 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 and this, right? Top and bottom are the same. What else do you say? The sides are not the same, so I can't just do like length times width times 6. That'd be cool. If it were a true cube like a dice, I could go length times width times 6 because they're all squares, right? That's not this. So here's what I need. Length times width. Does everybody agree? Length times width. What would this face over here be? Length times height. What would this side be? If this was length, this is width. Now, technically, it's square, it's length and length. But if it were not square, length times height would be the front, and I need 2 of them. And width times height, then I would need 2 of those guys, right? It's very complicated. It gets real complicated. It gets real complicated when I do this. Now how many sides do I need to do the surface? Head up. Yeah, gonna need 8, correct? How am I gonna get this guy? What formula works for that guy? What shape is it? Yeah, 1/2 AP, but I'm gonna need how many of those? 2, because I got one on the bottom and one on the top. Does everybody agree? Okay, how do I find all the other bits? What's that? Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. Is this a rectangle? So this would be side 1 times height. If I were trying to do the front, it would be side 2 times height, and side 3 times height, right? That's gonna suck. Here's the deal. We can make it a little easier by simply saying 2 bases. That way, no matter whether the base is a square, a rectangle, or a hexagon, can I just plug in the correct base formula? Because we're gonna have one on the bottom and one on the top, always, always, and forever, correct? So even if I have a cylinder, does 2B still work? The difference is, what's the B? What shape is this? Circle, so area is pi r squared. Plus, because now I gotta get the wrapper. So if this were a can of tuna, right? The circle on the bottom, circle on top, we're good. But now I need the chicken of the sea label that goes all the way around it, right? And what shape is a chicken of the sea label if you like take the label off a can or off a bottle or whatever? It's just a rectangle. That's right, because you unroll it. Whoa, that's the worst. There. Can I just unroll that label? How tall is it? The height, whatever it is, maybe 4, sure. It's the height. How long does this label need to be? The what? I can't hear you. The length, yeah, how long? How long would it need to be if that's a cylinder? Long enough to do what? Oh, go all the way around. What is it called when I want to go all the way around the circle? Circumference. So 2B plus perimeter times height. Because if I wanted to wrap it this side, that side, that side, that side, that side, that side, it has to go all the way around once. Perimeter, in our case, 2 pi r, times height. Over here, I just have to say pH, because there is no fancy formula for perimeter of a hexagon, is there? Okay. Would that work for a shape that looks like this? Would that formula still work if that's my shape? Would 2B plus pH still qualify? Well, yeah, the base would still be all of that, and I would definitely need 2 of them. Does everybody agree? Yes? Well, that's a good call. If I were doing volume, you're not wrong, because there's like a chunk missing. But if I'm doing surface, let's talk about painting this figure, right? Do I still have to paint this side and that side and this side? So the weird thing is, by chopping stuff out, you actually make way more surface, don't you? Okay. In fact, think about it like this. Roll of toilet paper. Does that have more or less surface area than if the toilet paper were soft? Surface area. More. It has less volume because you drilled some out and like threw it away, right? So there's less volume, but there's more surface area because do I also not just have to do the top surface, not just the outside surface, but the whole inside surface all the way down the middle? Get the idea? So 2B plus pH. 2B plus pH. And that works for prisms, it works for cylinders, even works for these strange drink things. By the way, does anybody know what this shape is called if there were no bottom in it? Donut as the unofficial name. Does anybody know the actual name? Torus. 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 It's what happens when you take a circle and you rotate it around an axis with a hole in the middle. So interesting. Yes, this was for teacher appreciation. Like they had drinks that they served us. I suppose we can float it in your mini baby pool or whatever. I don't know. I thought it was fun. I'd take it home to my kid. But in this case, guess when this is due? Hello. Good. Guess when this is due? Good. Guess what I do here? I definitely skipped that. Guess when this is due? Oh, okay. And then this. Cool. This you've already done? Cool. Surface area of a pyramid. Now, surface area of a pyramid in the cone is going to be a bit more of a challenge. Because here's my pyramid. What shapes do I have in my pyramid? I have a square or a rectangle or something on the bottom, right? Instead of 2B, I just have 1B. Does everybody agree with that? Because this comes to a point. But on the outside, I have triangles. So let's unfold this. Kind of like if you remember Harry Potter, one of his candies came in like a triangular shaped container. So if you open that up, you have triangles on each side, right? So what you need is you need these shapes. What shapes are those triangles? What's formula for triangle? 1/2 base times height, correct? Now, in our case, it wouldn't be base because you got length and you got width here, correct? So could I replace that with length? Is that okay? How come I can't use height of the figure? Because that's on the inside, that's the whole shape, not the height of the side, correct? The amount that you would have to crawl up the side is different than the height of the figure. So this, we call it something else. So it's going to be 1/2 of edge times, and it's called slant height. Slant height. Now, why do we call it slant height? Because it's the height if it were slanted. That makes sense, doesn't it? Here's the part that doesn't make sense. They don't use L and W for these. What's really weird is this uses a cursive L. A cursive L is for slant height. Why didn't they use S for slant height? Well, because S might be side. How come they don't use regular L? Length. Yeah, so what do? Oh, it's slant height, second letter, and it's cursive. So whereas the name makes a lot of sense, the letter that they use for it, not so much. But that's the way it is. All right, so pyramids. Surface area of a pyramid. Very good. Yes. Good call. Depends if this were a square, yes, you would. Over here, 2B plus pH, we use P to go all the way around. Couldn't we do that same trick here? So instead of finding 4 different triangles, what we do, 1/2 PL. So we put all the triangles together. Okay, that's how that works. All right. Yeah, that should take care of it for now. Again, none of this stuff is terribly difficult, but you kind of gotta do it. That's really the challenge here, isn't it? So with that in mind, that is all due Thursday. Why is it all due Thursday? Because who's not here Wednesday? You guys. Very good. You're not here Wednesday, so you got to get this done by Thursday. So 1, 2, 3, and I'll probably put grades in on Thursday rather than Wednesday because there won't really be anything done by then. So, guys, if whatever your grades are, we're kind of coming into the last set of grades. So make sure that you're finishing them up. And there will be no late grades on this, okay? When school ends, you're like, but I finished it, or I was sick, or it doesn't matter. Because have you had these assignments now for 2 weeks all the way to the end? Yeah, by the time the end of school year comes, you will have had all the assignments for 2 weeks. Everything else, if you want to know when it's due, here it is. Okay? All right, get after it. Yeah. Cell phones need to stay in your pockets unless you're taking pictures. And please ask if you wish to. Thank you. Hunter, do you have any questions, buddy? I'm going to assume no, since he's not here anymore.